the cloud.
All right. So we will get started with our North Carolina Court of Appeals judges. This is seat 3. This is a statewide race, and everyone will vote for this seat. The candidates are Christine Walsick and James Whalen. Christine, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Do you want to go ahead and give us your 2-minute elevator pitch?
Sure. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm sorry we can't be there in person, but my name is Judge Christine Walsick, and I'm on your ballot March 3rd for the Court of Appeals at seat number 3. And as Michelle stated, it is a statewide race. You can all vote in this race. And this court makes critical decisions about workers' rights, housing rights, your right to parent and educate your children, and sometimes your right to vote. And I'm running because I'm increasingly concerned about the public's loss of trust in our court system. I want to fight for a stronger court that can fulfill its purpose of serving as a check on the other two political branches. Attacks on the courts are unprecedented, and we've got to stand up and protect them. I'm one of the longest serving trial judges in our state. I've been there 19 years, and I'm the only person in this primary race that has any judicial experience. I'm also the only candidate who has practiced law for more than 5 years. So I've seen firsthand how our laws affect our communities, and I have the broad range of legal experience that's needed for this job. Before I was a judge, I spent more than a decade running my own law firm in Raleigh. We opened our women-owned firm in the 90s because we wanted the freedom to represent regular people and be a voice for marginalized groups. So I believe in the rule of law. I believe in equal access to justice and equal protection under the law. But most importantly, we deserve skilled and experienced judges with the moral courage to safeguard the individual liberties that our constitutions guarantee, like the right to free speech, the right to a free and public education, the right to assemble and collectively bargain, and the right to vote. I think you deserve a court that's more diverse and looks a little bit more like our state. There's 8 candidates running for the Court of Appeals, and I'm the only woman among them. And if I win, I'm going to be the only Democratic woman left on the 15-person court. I'm endorsed by the North Carolina Association of Educators, the People's Alliance in Durham, and at least 25 former judges who know what it takes to do this job. People like Chief Justice Sherry Beasley, Justice Robin Hudson, Chief Judge Linda McGee, Judge Lucy Inman, Judge Wanda Bryant, and several legislators like Senator Sidney Batch, Representative Pricey Harrison, and Representative Marsha Mori. I look forward to earning your support and
That's
working.
time.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to Mr. James Whalen.
Thank you all so much for having us. And yes, I know that we had to move this to Zoom for the weather. I'm here with my son and his grandparents. We're all hoping for snow. So if it snows, you can blame them. We got the sleds ready to go. I am an appellate attorney. I previously served in Josh Stein's Department of Justice, where I fought gerrymandering, fought for our public schools, held domestic abusers accountable. And last year, I was part of the legal team that defended Justice Allison Riggs' victory and stopped a dangerous attempt to steal an election. We are living in crazy times when our fundamental rights are directly under attack. Our courts have a lot of important jobs, but right now, the thing we need our courts to do most is protect our fundamental rights, which means we need people with experience doing that in court on our appellate courts. And the hard truth is that Democrats have lost every election for Court of Appeals since 2018. We cannot keep trying the same type of approaches and hoping for different results. We need new generation of candidates, and that's why I'm running, and that's why I've had the support of every former Supreme Court justice to have endorsed since I announced my campaign, including Chief Justice Henry Fry, the first Black justice on our state Supreme Court, Representative Kanika Brown, and folks from all over North Carolina. I hope to have your support as well, and you can find out more about me at whalenfornc.com, WHALENFORNC.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you, James. We'll go ahead and go into our one question for you. You guys will each have 30 seconds, not 3 seconds, 30 seconds. James, we'll start with you. Explain what the North Carolina Court of Appeals does and what would your top priority be if elected?
The most important thing it does is it makes decisions about our rights, about whether our kids, like my 4-year-old, is going to have a sound basic public education, whether or not our votes count, whether or not our districts are fair. As I mentioned, I fought gerrymandering, I fought for our public schools, and I fought to protect our elections. That's what I've done as an attorney, and that's the type of background we need on our court to protect those rights going forward.
So I agree. I think The election cases are really important. There's been less than 5 election cases at the Court of Appeals since the 90s. The bulk of what they do is what affects your everyday lives. Your right to parent and educate your children, housing rights, about eviction cases, workers' rights cases, business disputes, personal injury, and they set precedent. So if they make a decision, it affects trial judges all over the state have to follow those decisions. And so we need judges up there who understand the law in all these different areas and will also protect your individual liberties.
All right, time. Thank you.
That was perfect. Thank you all. So I have next up our U.S. Congress District 6. For those of you in the audience, this pertains to precincts 51, 52, 53, 54, and 55. Those are the ones that are in the 6th Congressional District. Our candidates are Beau Blair, Keith Davenport, Cyril Jefferson, and Alyssa Cassay. And we will start again with a 2-minute introduction, and we'll start with Beau Blair.
How you guys doing? Sorry we couldn't be there today in person. I know the weather is coming in, but my name is Beau Blair. I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives in the 6th District because I believe in the people of this district. We talk often about how we want to meet the people where they are. And the biggest thing that I get to say is we are those people because we are just everyday American citizens that decided to step up and run for Congress. I will tell you a story. On election night, my wife and I watched as the election results rolled in, and we got extremely nervous because my wife is an American citizen, or I'm sorry, a naturalized citizen. She was adopted at 6 months old from Korea, and at 6 years old, she became a U.S. citizen. And as we watched the election results roll in, we got to have a big conversation about what we were going to do and how we were going to stay, if we were going to stay here moving forward. What we decided to do was to stay here and fight back, and that's how this campaign started. I still maintain a full-time job while running this election, and we have really worked hard to meet people where they are and try and understand the problems that we're facing nowadays as a country. We really have to look forward past what's happening now, as we also have to hold these people accountable for all of their actions. Everything that we have done in this campaign, when we get to meet people, we really look forward to getting out and trying to make a difference the best way that we know how. And that's what we're doing nowadays. So I look forward to hopefully meeting you guys in person here soon. And hopefully everybody survives the weather. So thank you.
Excellent. Next up is Keith Davenport.
I don't think he is
I don't
attending.
think he's here.
He's the
Okay.
only one that we don't have attending.
Oh, well, thank you. Cyril Jefferson, you are up.
Good afternoon. It's great to see everyone on the call. My name is Cyril Jefferson, the very proud mayor of High Point, North Carolina, and also candidate for U.S. House of Representatives here in District 6. I'm running for Congress because I believe that every community in North Carolina deserves real results, not sound bites, because people want leadership that solves problems and not leadership that plays games. Whether it's your paycheck, your child's education, your neighborhood, your business, what happens in Washington, D.C. should make life better. It should move the needle. And that's what I was focused on in public service, and that's what I'll continue to do. As both mayor and as a business owner, dedicated my life to serving others, and that service has meant building things that last, supporting people when it matters most, creating new opportunities for others to succeed, whether that's growth in small business, local economies, improving public safety by driving down homicides in our city by 75%, creating career paths for young people, and attracting new investments to our region. That's just been work that I've been committed to. Some of the things that I've been pushing for and that I'll stand for and that I will fight for when I go to Congress is to make Congress more accountable to the people. I believe that a machine produces outputs based on how a machine is designed. So we got to fix our machinery. That includes term limits for people in Congress that doesn't go past 12 years. That includes banning stock trading while you are a congressional member. That includes a moratorium on lobbying, so you can't lobby until 5 years after your term. That includes also a code of conduct that is enforceable for the Supreme Court. And it also includes ensuring that all across the board. How we communicate and how we show up is the way that the Constitution and founders determined. I hope you vote Cyril Jefferson for Congress on March 3rd. When you think about the name Jefferson, think about George and Wheezy. Think about moving on up. Thank y'all.
Excellent.
Thank you. Alyssa Casey. And am I saying your last name right?
Yes, Casse.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Casse, and I'm running for Congress because, simply put, I believe that government should work for the people it serves, not the other way around. I called Guilford County my home for more than 25 years, but decades ago, I took an oath to the Constitution, not to a party or a politician, and that commitment never ends. I spent my career as a federal civilian employee enforcing the laws that Congress passed, training and mentoring employees, and seeing firsthand how bad decisions made in Washington affect real families right here at home. But on January 20th, 2025, I was instructed to carry out actions that cross the line between what is legal and what is right, including my mandate to fire 3 probationary employees who had done nothing wrong, suddenly were treated as disposable. Doing my job the right way took courage. I pushed back when policies were unfair because doing what's right matters more than doing what's easy. So eventually, watching from the inside just simply wasn't enough. So I stepped down from that position and stepped up to fight because I was not going to continue to be a part of the problem, but rather a part of the solution. So I am a public servant, and I'm not in this for myself. I serve the public. I serve everyone. I always have. I'm a problem solver, a wife, a mom. I understand kitchen table issues. I live them every single day. I believe in accountability and transparency. So my 3-part pledge on my website says, I will be present, I will fight for you, and I will be honest. And I'm running to protect personal privacy from government, defend women's healthcare decisions and rights, stand up for veterans and seniors, and protecting, reform the Tax Act that no longer favors the wealthy and strengthen the middle class. Because I will make sure companies don't get away with breaking the rules. Sending me to Congress ensures your representative will say enough is enough. I'd
Time.
be honored to earn your vote.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Alyssa. All right, we're going to move on to our question, and Bo, we'll start with you. Actually, we'll start with Alyssa since she's all warmed up still. What specific bills or policy changes would you prioritize in your first year, and how does that contrast with your Republican opponent's agenda?
Well, the first thing is I'm a member of the Courage Candidate, which pledges that I will impeach the president. I guarantee McDowell is not on that list. So the first thing that I pledge getting into Congress is to create or make or support articles of impeachment. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. Getting rid of this current administration is what we need to do. Roll back everything that they did so that we could go back to where we were before.
That's time.
Thank you, Tony. All right, Cyril, we're going to head to you next. Do you need me to repeat the question?
No, ma'am. I believe you all heard me mention in my introduction some of those reforms, but one that I left off the list that's critically important is what we do about Citizens United, and we've got to reduce the harm of that. We've got to get big money out of politics. We got to get and return the power back to the people. And Addison McDowell, his brother, runs Checkmate Lobbying Firm. If you've not heard of Checkmate Lobbying Firm, I'll drop the link in the chat and an article that shows you how his brother hunts with Donald Trump Jr. and his brother also lobbies for foreign government so they can get favor with the Trump White House. We're going to push back on stuff like that.
Time.
Love that. All right, Bo, we're up to you. We're back to you. Would you like me to repeat the question, or are you good?
I should be okay. Thank you.
Okay.
One of the biggest things that, on top of overturning and taking out dark money, is we've got to fix the healthcare in this country. We just watched a bill for the extension of the ACA credits get shot down in the Senate. We need to fix that immediately. We need to make sure that the 240,000 people in this district don't lose their healthcare coverage that they're about to lose because of this big, awful bill. Don't forget that takes place right after the midterm elections, so it makes the new winners look just as bad as anybody else. We have a lot to do, but right now, healthcare is something that we are losing access to left and right, and that's probably the first thing that we need to fix as soon as we get into office.
All right, that's
January.
time.
Thank you, Bo. Y'all did a great job. Thank you so much for the very thoughtful and thorough answers. And that goes for the first group as well, of course. So moving right along, we're going to go to U.S. Congress District 10. And for our, well, for everybody's sake, this is Precinct 76 and Precinct 77. They are in the 10th Congressional District. Our candidates include Ashley Bell, Wes Cottle, Harry Morley, Marcus Pearson, Ralph Scott Jr., and Mir Yarfitz. We're going to start with Miss Bell. Your 2-minute introduction, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ashley Bell, and I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives in the 10th District to replace Pat Harrigan. And, I would love to spend this time telling you about why it's important that you send me the most qualified and experienced candidate through the primary. And I'd love to elaborate on the fact that I've been a PA for 15 years. I'm a Wake Forest 2011 graduate of the School of Medicine in Wake Forest. I made the conscious and educated choice to make our district my home. I've been a teacher for 20 years. I spent the last 15 years advocating for my profession and access to healthcare on a national level, and I've held multiple nationally appointed offices. But as someone who has spent many years making life and death decisions as a healthcare provider in emergency medicine, I know how to prioritize and I know how to triage the most pressing and emergent issues facing us right now. Today, ICE murdered yet another citizen in Minneapolis. They murdered Renee Good 2 weeks ago for trying to follow their orders to leave. They murdered a man today who was simply standing and filming off to the side. They mobbed him, pistol whipped him, beat him, and then shot him at close range multiple times. We have a government-funded paramilitary force murdering American citizens on American soil. And that same treasonous group has booked out hotel rooms for the upcoming month of February in our district. And our current Congress is doing nothing about it. In fact, some cases, they're actually encouraging it. And we have to have people who aren't afraid to speak up and fight back. Now is not the time for nice guys. So I can certainly tell you about the draft legislation I've written to lay the groundwork for Medicare for all, or the one I wrote to combat the corporate takeover of Medicare, or the fact that we have to stop our tax dollars from being spent to fund private instead of public schools, or the fact that we need to pay teachers more and build more affordable housing and overturn Citizens United. And as the only woman running in this race, how I will advocate to codify a woman's right to choose. But I need everybody to keep their eyes on the
That's
ball.
time.
Oh, I was muted. I'm sorry. I was sending my husband out on errands before everything hits the fan. So thank you, Dr. Bell, very much. West Cottle, you're up. 2 minutes, please.
Thank you, everyone. Again, my name is Wes Cottle. I'm from this district. I was born and raised here. I have a professional background in law enforcement, public education, nonprofit service, focusing on disaster response, and the community and our community members that are battling addiction and their families. As Ashley pointed out, we have a lot of pressing issues. But number one, before we're ever going to accomplish anything, we have to have a solid plan of how to overcome real obstacles in our government. That number one obstacle being Citizens United, the influence of billionaires and dark money. I can make you all kinds of promises on healthcare, on public education, on the economy, affordability, workforce development, so on and so forth. But until we get to Congress, until we have a majority that is willing to put forth a constitutional amendment that codifies that human rights are reserved for human beings and not corporations and organizations, all of those promises are empty. You can't make a promise that you can't keep, and we have to change that. So I'm here as a local resident, as someone that has been here their entire life, that understands the pressing needs of our communities within this district and knows how to take an argument and a platform before rural voters in order to actually win in November and make change that we all want to see. Thank you for your time.
Excellent. Thank you very much, West. Harry, you're up.
All right, my name's Harry Morley. I'm a specialist with 38 years of service you can trust, and I've made sure that my constituents, as exceptional children's specialists, get what they need, what they've earned, what they deserve. I apply that same to my job as a congressman representing you guys. Now, the problem is right now, the way I see is what does a representative should do? First, we need relief from prices. One of the first things I'll do my first 30 days, besides getting in office, besides going for committees for broadband infrastructure, health, and education, I will co-sponsor a bill to bring down the price of medication and let Medicaid, Medicare actually bargain for the prices. And that's what we got to do because that impacts all of us. Now, I know a lady who pays $33,000 for 5 pills to keep herself alive. That is wrong. That's criminal. You shouldn't choose between health care, house, and retirement. Her ACA is going away. We got to stop that. We got to get the streaming tax breaks back in. Now, the next thing is we got to provide small interest loans, grants, infrastructure for these small businesses. We at the 10th are all connected. We always talk about how we're different. The rural area provides services that we use, and we provide services they use. We are living systems dependent on each other. We need to support each other. Now, the first 30 days, I talked about that. The next 30 days, I'm going to go to small towns like Newton, Conover, Catawba, here in Forsyth, Clemmons, Louisville. We're going to talk to those people, what they need as a representative. What can I provide? I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to hold town halls all over. Then I'm going to take that information. I'm going to request what's best for us in the 10th. Not just healthcare, not just the workers, not just the educators, but for what's best for all of us. And that's what I plan on doing. It. Look, this isn't about politics as usual. It's about making the work better for people, District 10. Now's the time. Now's the time. You need somebody like me to step up.
All right, time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry, very much. Marcus Pearson.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus Pearson. I'm also running for 10th District for the Congress. I'm not going to get on here and promise y'all anything. I'm not going to do that. A lot of candidates will do it. They're going to say, I'm going to do this for 30 days. I'm going to do this on my day one. But Civics 101, first year congressman really can't do too much unless you're on the committee. And that's just facts. And if, people want to debate me, please debate me. I've been a civics teacher for 5 years, and I taught government every day. I work at Page High School. I work in civics, so I understand how government works. My biggest plan, and when I win this race and go against Pat, I want to give the voice back to District 10. I want somebody that can represent the district and give them a voice, not stand around and help big businesses all the time and not pay attention to the small businesses. We need to be able to, I'm going to hold my town halls all in District 10. I'll make sure everybody hears me and I can hear them and take their problems back to Washington with me. And finally, what we need to work on is our economy. If we get these tariffs down to zero, then manufacturing can go up and prices come down, grocery bills go down, gas goes down. Now we got money in our pocket. Now we can talk about the affordability problem. So that's what I want to do. I hope that on March 3rd, I get the votes that I need to move on to the general and to take Pat Harrigan out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ralph Scott Jr. And I don't hear you if you're speaking, so you might be on mute.
Oh, sorry, is it my turn? I couldn't quite hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mess up? I'm sorry. Yes, it is. My apologies.
Oh. Hi, sorry, I couldn't hear. Hi, I'm really glad to be here with all of you on Zoom today. I'm Mayor Yarfitz, and I'm running to kick Pat Harrigan out of District 10 and help flip the U.S. House of Representatives. As others have been saying, these are not ordinary times, and we need a new approach to politics. I decided to run for this seat when ICE came to Charlotte, and I went down to help protect my immigrant neighbors. What I saw, masked paramilitary forces operating illegally. I, as a historian, recognize this to be fascism in progress. So I started working with other community members, both immigrants and allies, and as we worked to protect our neighbors up here in Winston-Salem, we realized that nobody in local politics was really centered on this crisis or willing to stand up to the increasingly illegal operations of the federal government. So together with my fellow organizers, I decided to bring my experience as an international historian and a community organizer into this race. I will say I am the most progressive candidate in this section of the race. I'm endorsed by the local chapter of Democratic Socialists of America. Conversations with national are happening, as are conversations with other progressive national organizations. And I will say that across the political spectrum right now, people are fed up with both the Democratic and Republican parties. Government is not working. People want something new. This is not a time for compromise. This is a time for strong vision, for strong leadership. So the main things that I am running on are the following. Number one, stop funding ICE right now. Hold people accountable for their illegal behavior. Right now, stop the checkpoints here in our area and the other forms of cooperation between local officials and illegal behavior from the federal government. We're in an affordability crisis. I will say this is not just about prices. This is about wages, unless we want to use the Fed for purely political ends. It's time for a new minimum wage. I'll fight for a $20 an hour minimum wage to start. This is obviously, it's long past time for healthcare to be accessible to everyone. I will move towards Medicare for all quickly. This is a time for reinvesting in education at every level and dealing not only with the crisis of the debt.
That's time.
Thank you, Tony. And Ralph, are you able to unmute and
Yes,
give a 2-minute intro? Oh, perfect.
I'm unmuted now. Okay.
Oh, great.
I'm Ralph Scott. I was the Democratic nominee for 2024. I've swung the district approximately 8 points more than what everybody thought it would. For some reason, I'm not on the picture anymore. But am I still talking or?
You're still talking. We can hear you. Keep going.
Okay. But I still basically, I'm going to run basically what I thought before is basically Congress is broken. There's no physical responsibility taken by the Republicans whatsoever. Our deficit's fixing to explode through the roof. Trump spent like $1 trillion since September. So basically, I running basically the same thing I did before. I'm going to end basically Trump, fascism, anything I could do, impeach, get rid of the judges, just basically destroy the whole entire structure that they've created and reestablish back everything that we used to have. And I would be, of course, backing anyone that could do that, whichever way I could. And if I get on a committee, of course, I would get on a committee and do what I can. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Ralph. Well, since you're warmed up and ready to go, let's start with you for the question.
Okay.
And I'm happy to repeat this question, so I will not do it unless asked, but please feel free to. I know I always like to hear things freshly again. So starting with you, Ralph, what specific bills or policy changes would you prioritize in your first year? And how does that contrast with your Republican opponent's agenda?
Oh, one of the biggest things I really want to receive or turn back to government is fiscal responsibility, because if we don't get our fiscal responsibility back, our inflation rate is fixing to take off tremendously. And other than that, anything I could do to take down the structure that they've created. Thank you.
Thank you. Mir Griffiths, I know that you're still warmed up, so let's go to you. And let me know if you'd like that question repeated.
Could you please repeat the question?
Of course. What specific bills or policy changes would you prioritize in your first year? And how does that contrast with your Republican opponent's agenda?
I mean, we're drawing a hard line between what my campaign offers and the MAGA agenda. I will move to impeach on day one. I will also move to hold those accountable who've been doing all of these illegal acts. Again, stop funding ICE, $20 an hour minimum wage, Medicare for all, reinvest in education, and also I bring a lot of foreign policy interest and experience that will be a sharp contrast with the Republicans.
Thank you very much. Marcus Pearson?
My first thing I would do with tariffs, bring down tariffs, because my biggest thing is if you bring down tariffs, you get the economy back rolling like it needs to be. Everything else follows after you get your economy done. Like most politicians will tell you, it's the economy, stupid. Fix the economy. Everything follows, and everything will be fine. That was what I'll do when I walk in Congress. Work on getting the tariffs, and I will work with any Republican that will want to bring those down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Harry Morley, you're up.
All right, first off, deal with drug pricing, utilities, insurance costs, try to bring those down right away. Get on the committees that deal with that, like the Commerce Energy Committee. Also launch a workforce pipeline initiative where we can get these high quality jobs filled from the technical aspect. The technical colleges supporting that. Also, we got to get rid of tariffs. Like I said before, this ICE thing is out of control. Rein them in, because they're violating the Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights, and that's got to go. That's what I plan on doing. and make sure that we get the services we need here in the 10th Congressional District for everyone. Not just,
Time.
there you go.
Thank you. West Cottle?
Yes, as I outlined previously, ending Citizens United would be the first order of business, or at least starting the process for a constitutional amendment to do so, but also neutering MAGA. We've already tried twice to put the future of our country in the hands of the Senate, and it's failed miserably. We have to do policies that pretty much negate anything MAGA attempts to do through the 2028 election, and then hold criminally responsible anyone that has touched this fascist state and put us in the situation that we find ourselves now. As for my opponent in the general, Pat Harrigan, he does nothing but try and promote the military-industrial complex, and he also negates the validity and villainizes over half the population with his baseless rhetoric.
Thank you very much, West. Dr. Bell?
Yeah, so I said we have to keep our eyes on the ball. If we don't save our democracy, none of our plans have a chance. Like Alyssa, I am part of Citizens Impeachment. We will impeach on day one. Our organization works closely with the group of congressmen that are working to impeach Kristi Noem, so we do have experience at doing this. Simultaneously, we need to defund ICE. We need to roll back cuts to healthcare instituted by the big, beautiful bill and lay groundwork for Medicare for all. Pat has no experience in healthcare. He doesn't know what he's talking about there, and he is actively working to defund Medicaid and cut our access to healthcare. So that's how my platform differs from him.
Time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have an important announcement to make. The Clemmons ABC store closed at 1:30, so there's no reason to rush out of this forum because yours likely did too. Okay. Everyone's doing really great. So our next group will be for North Carolina District Court Judge, District 31, specifically seat 4. This is a county-wide race, so everyone here will vote for this seat. Our candidates are Cheryl Andrews McDonald, who is currently in that seat and was appointed by Josh Stein. And we have her opponent, Lauren Tuttle. So we'll start with Cheryl with a 2-minute intro.
I'm trying to start my video.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Cheryl Andrews McDonald. I am a Forsyth County District Court Judge. I have served and practiced law here in Forsyth County for the last 19, now 20 years. I graduated from Wake Forest University School of Law in 2006. After graduation, I went to the Public Defender's Office for 4 years, which was a great start to a legal education. In law school, we learn about words on paper. In the practice of law, we learn that those words apply to human beings. After being in the Public Defender's Office in 2010, I was able to go into private practice, where I was able to expand my practice of law into all of the areas of law that we cover in district court. District court is not just a criminal court. We handle family matters, civil matters, we handle juvenile cases, and so much more. So my 19 years of experience gave me that opportunity to be able to preside over those courtrooms as I do today. Based on my experience, I had the good fortune of being nominated by my colleagues in the legal community, and my name was sent to the governor's office for consideration. After vetting and interviews, the governor selected me to serve the citizens of Forsyth County as your district court judge. I am fortunate to have his endorsement in my campaign. I believe that our justice system can work. I believe that it requires people with the knowledge, the ethics, and the experience to make it work, to ensure that it works. I'm the type of person that doesn't think you can complain about something unless you're willing to do something about it. So I spent those 19 years getting prepared to do what I'm doing now, which is serve the citizens of Forsyth County. I'm very fortunate to have the endorsement not only of Governor Stein and my peers, but also of Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough. I believe that everyone who enters my courtroom deserves to be heard, treated with respect, and have the law applied fairly and impartially to them. I want them to know that they are heard. Thank you. I wish your support.
Thank you, Cheryl. Lauren Tuttle.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me?
I sure can.
Great. My name is Lauren Tuttle. I also am running for district court judge. I hate that we can't be in person. I really prefer that environment. I am currently employed as a public defender. I pride my passion to be a civil servant. I'm in district court every day. I'm helping our most marginalized citizens seek justice. I have lived in Forsyth County for almost 30 years. I have a husband of almost 20 years, and my daughter attends Mount Tabor High School. Prior to being at the public defender's office, I was in private practice at Quandra and Roubain, where I also had the opportunity to do civil work, personal injury, child support court, family law, and landlord-tenant dispute. I think that justice does require equity, empathy, and efficiency. Judges must know the law, they must respect the law, and most importantly, they must apply the law equally. And I'm ready to do this fairly and without any favor. Judges don't pick sides. They listen carefully to all specific facts of a case, and they independently and objectively rule without any fear. I promise I will come prepared every day to treat anyone who comes before me equally. Being impartial is not a passive act, it's active. It requires discipline. And carrying a caseload of 100 plus cases demands that discipline. I know that I already have that. I can handle the high stakes decisions made from the bench, whether it be a child's best interest, an impact on one's livelihood, or potentially forever altering an individual's future in criminal court. I will be focused, attentive, and neutral. My name is Lauren Tuttle. I'm asking for your vote, and I thank you for your trust.
Thank you, Lauren. All right, here is the question, Lauren, and we'll start it off with you. How will you ensure equal treatment of all parties, regardless of background or resources? Clearly, proactively, we got that part. Any other tips?
Yes, proactively. I mean, that is the job. And so to aspire to have the job, it is fundamentally the foundation that it must be equitable. And that is why that is one of my crucial pillars. The law must be applied equitably. And as long as you are applying the law as it is written, and you are carefully considering the individual facts of each person who stands before you, whether they be rich, poor, brown, black, white, Hispanic, I believe that I can succeed at that.
Thank you very much. Cheryl, how will you ensure equal treatment of all parties, regardless of background or resources?
I am fortunate to have quite a diverse background myself. I've had many personal experiences outside of my legal education. So I understand that we are all human beings who have different experiences and different perspectives. I think that insight allows me to hear from people and let them know that they are heard. And my knowledge of the law and my fairness allows me to apply the law fairly to all, because I know that we are all different and have different experiences. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you both. We are going to move on to our county commissioner candidates, and we are going to start with our Forsyth County Board of Commissioner candidates that are at large. So that is a countywide race, and for the at-large position, everyone would vote for this seat. We have two excited candidates. We have incumbent Dan Bessie and newcomer Kwamika Q. Shavers. So we'll start with Dan and his 2-minute introduction.
Thank you. In 2022, I ran for at-large Forsyth County Commissioner to help make county government work for all the people of Forsyth, whether you live in the city of Winston-Salem, one of the smaller towns like Clemmons, or out in the countryside. And I focus on 3 priority goals. First, good public schools, including increased funding, better pay for teachers and classified staffs, and equitable facilities and programs in our historically disadvantaged communities and neighborhoods. Second, healthier communities, including access to health care, strong public health services like no-cost vaccinations, faster emergency medical services response, and programs addressing food insecurity, infant mortality, and domestic violence. And 3, safe and strong neighborhoods, including effective law enforcement, good affordable housing, and violence interruption and youth mentoring programs. I know from personal life experience how important public education, public health, and public safety are to working class and lower income families. I grew up in a working class family and neighborhood in small town Hickory. I graduated from public schools and went to UNC on scholarship. I took my law degree down east to help struggling families in poor counties of coastal North Carolina. I've worked for Planned Parenthood to protect a woman's right to choose and for environmental groups to protect clean air and water for everyone. And I've learned through 40 years of public service and trust experience how to get things done through government. I believe it's important for all our people to have representatives who understand and care about them and who know how to make government work for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Bamika?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kwame Kia Q. Shavers. I'm excited to share my platform as I run for County Commissioner at large. I am born and raised in Winston-Salem. I'm a mother of three. I have deep roots in this community and a heartfelt commitment for making our community better. My platform is education first. Second is public health and public safety. And last, affordable housing. And just to give you a little bit on my background, I was the president of the Young Dems of Forsyth County. I was the vice president of the Young Democrats of North Carolina. I've also held positions on the state board for our NC Democrats, on the policy making committee. I'm truly committed to politics. I own my own political consultant company where I've managed 5 campaigns and been successful in all 5 campaigns and worked a slew of previous campaigns prior to owning my own political consultant company. I truly love politics. I got into it because my old principal asked me to volunteer for his campaign, and I really found my place. I'm good at a plethora of things, but politics is truly where I belong. And every year I prayed to God. I said, is it the year? And he said no. And I asked last year, 2025, because I started running in June 2025. I asked God, and I thought he was going to say no again, because you know how you ask God multiple times and you get used to hearing the no. And when he said yes, I was extremely shocked. And things just kept aligning for me. I went to Yale University campaign school. I had an amazing time. Normally, I wouldn't pay a Republican to hear anything, but they actually taught me a great amount of tools to put in my toolkit to come back home and run a very, what I believe is successful and fruitful campaign. I'm asking for your support. Please look into all of the community work that I have done. I'm really just asking for a chance to do things differently, not necessarily better. I think that it's not smart to say you can do a job better that you've never done before, but I definitely believe that I can do it differently in hopes to yield better results. My name is Kwame Kia Q. Shavers. I'm running for County Commissioner at large, and I am asking for your vote.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Q. We will kick it back off with you for the question. Our question is, what do you believe is the most difficult and most important issue for the county in 2026, 2027, and how would you address this issue? And Q, you can kick that answering the question off. Kick off answering the question.
Yes, ma'am. And you said what would be the most important priority that I would focus on for our county?
Yes.
You guys, I have a master's degree in education. I love education. I believe that education is the heart and stem from everything that is either going to push our community forward or keep it stagnated. I believe that a quality education will help mitigate or lessen some of the youth crime activity that we are truly suffering from in this county. I want to bring back those old programs like the job links through Urban League, where we gave youth the opportunity to make their own income. Because if you know anything about gang related activities, a lot of times that behavior is stemmed from a lack of resources. Thanks.
Thank you, Q. Dan, how about you? What would you say is your next priority? What's the biggest, most difficult thing facing the county commissioners, and how would you address it?
Our biggest challenge is helping our school system recover from the financial crisis that they experienced. And to do that, I would continue the work we've already started. At the local level, this year we passed a $180 million record Forsyth County local assistance package or funding for the schools. We worked with our school system and the interim superintendent to identify ways to help the system pay off all of its debt to the state and almost all of its debt to private vendors, including the $5 million it owed the county. I'll work with both my colleagues on the commission and in school board to
Thank you,
address these
Dan.
problems. Thank you.
Now for the next candidates for Forsyth County Board of Commissioners, they are District B. So this is the donut portion, which all residents of Clemmons would fall into. We have candidates Adam Hill and Marcy West. And Adam, I'm hoping you'll kick it off with a 2-minute introduction.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adam Hill. My path to running for county commissioners has been about always gravitating towards community impact. I left a neuroscience PhD program because the research was years away from helping people in their daily lives. I've landed at Forsyth Features, where I've been for the past 12 years, partnering with community organizations, using data to drive positive change in education, housing, health, and economic security. Forsyth County has many strengths, but we also have some serious gaps. We have some of the lowest economic mobility rates in the country, and fewer than half of third graders are reading at grade level. I think this has become the norm, and it's entirely unacceptable. The county needs to be a strong partner in creating a shared community vision, working alongside residents, schools, municipalities, hospitals, and nonprofits. The county can't be effective working in a silo, and its role should be a partner and a smart investor in local dollars. Community input points to 3 really key areas where the county can better lead: expanding access to childcare and pre-K, fully funding our public schools, and addressing the affordable housing crisis. Investing in these areas will help us build the foundation for a strong local economy. As executive director for Forsyth Features, I've managed a balanced budget for 7 years. I'll bring that same discipline to county government. I'm no longer willing to accept inaction and status quo. This District B seat is a pivotal seat that needs a change in leadership to make real progress for our community. When we flip this seat, I'll bring a more collaborative, community-led process to set county priorities. And I'm excited to work with fellow Democrats on the board to accomplish this. I'm asking for your vote to build a stronger future for Forsyth County. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank you, Adam. Well said. Marcy, would you please give us your 2-minute introduction? And you might be on mute because I don't hear you yet, but I can't see you right now. Oh, Marcy, you're definitely on mute.
Now?
There we go. You're good. We can hear
There's
you now.
multiple microphones on my screen. So I am Marcy West. I'm running for county commissioner in District B. It is critical that we make a change, and that this is the only seat that can actually change the balance of power on this board. So we will need to be looking forward instead of looking back. We can't be doing what we've been doing for 45 years. So it's very important that we do that. We listen to the community. So I have experience in finance and I have experience in local government that I can bring to bear. I have been going to county commission meetings for the last 2 years. I have been through the entire budget process for the past 2 years. I can see that there are many places that we have opportunities to change that process so that we're looking at it and we're making sure that we're allocating money to the right places. I have deep family ties to Forsyth County. I moved here out of college. Both of my sons were born here. We bought our first 2 houses here. We moved away and lived in the Boston area, which is where I had my local government experience. I lived in Hong Kong. I traveled across the country with Cirque du Soleil for 1.5 years, and I have come back and settled here because it is truly, Forsyth County is the best place to be. So we now live right across from our family, and I have family members who've worked in county government and in the schools. So I have a lot of depth to draw upon. I have worked really hard to make sure that our government is transparent. I have advocated for evening meetings for the entire time that I've been looking at this. I've advocated for public recordings of those budget sessions so that people can actually see what's going on, and I can bring that information to the county. We need to have strong public education. We need to have affordable housing. We have to have good, strong public safety and public health. Those 3 things will help us to grow economically so that we have more money to spend, but don't have to go back to individual taxpayers to do it. So that is really, really critical. That's what I want to do. And I would love to be your representative and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy. And since you're all warmed up, we're going to throw at you the same question we did before.
Sure.
What is the most difficult or important issue that you're going to face in your first year, and how are you going to address it?
Yeah, so the most difficult issue is indeed dealing with the crisis in our schools and getting them so that they are financially sound and so that the community trusts that they are doing what they need to be doing. We need to partner with the schools. We need to partner with other organizations in town so that we are building that community. We're building the local government. We need to invest in pre-K and bringing along early childhood education, because that is what's going to help to strengthen those schools. And so those are the places that I'm going to focus.
Thank you, Marcy. Adam?
Well, it sounds like there's lots of agreement among us in terms of investing in children and youth. I agree. So that's great. Those that will go through, I think that will be something we all can work on. We need to invest in early education. 33% of kindergarteners are not showing up with the literacy skills they need to be on track, and only 44% of third graders are reading on grade level. So the dollars we invest early in childcare and pre-K will expand the economy and have a huge return on investment. Every dollar you put into it, you get $7 to $9 back down the road. So I would say investment in early education and our schools. Thank you.
Ooh, all Democrats need to keep that number in their back pocket. Republicans love to hear some ROI. So that's a great factoid. Thank you, Adam. We're going to move on to school board candidates, which there are 500 of. Thank you all for being so willing to throw in your hat and take on what is sure to be the most horrible position of all time. Better you all than me. So this is first, we're going to start with Forsyth County Board of Education at large. This is a county-wide race. Everybody here will vote for these seats, and you can vote for up to 3 candidates. So we have, well, you know what? Y'all can read it. I did put the presentation in the chat, and we will also email it out later. But so we'll just get started with everybody, and then I can only butcher everyone's names one time instead of potentially twice. So Valerie, would you like to start with your 2-minute introduction, please?
Yes, I would love to. My name is Valerie Brokenbrough, and I'm running for school board at large. A little background about me. As you can hear, I have an accent. I was born in France, moved to the US in 1994, was supposed to stay 6 months, and 32 years later, I'm still here. My husband and I moved to Winston-Salem over 22 years ago. I'm a successful small business owner and the parent of 3 amazing kids. I'm a proud public school mom. Our 3 kids went to Forsyth County School, have 2 who already graduated, one from Reynolds and one from Atkins. And we still have a daughter at Reynolds High School. She's a senior. One of the reasons why I'm running, it's because I want to make sure that every children in the county get a great education. Our 3 kids get a great education in Forsyth County. In 2018, I was the PTA president at the downtown school and started getting involved with public education. I drove to Raleigh to advocate for more public funding with our lawmakers, organized a rally for classified pay to the county commissioner in 2023 with Community for Public Schools. I attended many school board meetings and county commissioner meetings, and even ran for office for county commissioner in 2024. Even though we are going through extremely difficult time in the district, I believe that opportunities also open, crises also open opportunities, and I have great hope and expectation for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. And I will leave you with one quote from former Governor Jim Hunt. Education is the most important thing that we do. It is the foundation of everything else. So please vote for me. You can go check my website at voteforvalerie.com, and please vote for Valerie Brokenborough. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Valerie. Vondell Davis, if you would like to give your 2-minute introduction.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I do apologize. I don't have a camera. Unfortunately, that is not my strong suit with Zoom.
You're lucky. You won.
So thank you for allowing me to still attend this event. I wish it could have been in person. But a little bit about myself. I am a proud Forsyth County resident. I am a product of our public school system of Winston-Salem. And I am running. And also, let me say this too. a proud parent of a student in Winston-Salem Forsyth County that is within the Exceptional Children's Program. I am running for this position. One, this is not a position where families are looking for someone to have a personal agenda. They are looking for real people, real answers, and real results. And I come from a background of legal. I'm a paralegal by profession. I own 2 successful businesses in Forsyth County. And I am taking this opportunity to not only fix for our students, but we need a better recruiting system to obtain better candidates for teaching. We need to make a change for our families. They are looking for they're looking for schools where they can have better education for their children, as well as educators are looking for something better what Forsyth County used to be. And so I am happy to be in this race. Again, this is not a race. You would never hear me sound like I'm reading a script or from a book, because our families and our constituents are not looking for that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Vondell. Donald, you're up.
Thank you. My name is Donald Dunn, and I'm running for school board at large. I have been a lifelong advocate for both children, families, and communities. I currently am a business owner for over 30 years. We own and operate 2 child care centers here in Forsyth County. We have a daughter who's graduated from the system. My primary goal in this race is not, my intentions were not the end of the race, but so many people came to me and approached me about running. I'm not running against any of the other 9 people. I'm running for the children, the taxpayers, and to restore the confidence that our educators need in our system. There's 3 primary principles I have. I want to restore confidence in our leadership of the school system. I want to recruit a permanent superintendent so we can get on the right track. And third, I want to re-energize the board norms to the current board. We cannot stay on this path because we're the laughingstock, not only of the state, but the country. With my broad experience in board leadership and management of both small nonprofits and larger nonprofits, I can help guide the board in the direction. I have a strong background in finance and sales and marketing, as well as being able to deal with both volunteers. And in my leadership position, one of them has been leading PTAs across the country in achieving their goals. So please consider Donald Dunn for your vote for at large.
Thank you very much, Donald. Frank?
Hi, everyone. I'm Frank M. James. I want to start out by thanking the Clemmons Democrats for putting this on and adapting to the weather so we could still have this event, even though it's not in person. I appreciate that. Winston-Salem is my home. I grew up here. I graduated from Reynolds, raised my family here. My daughter graduated from Parkland, and I've worked in the district as a middle school math teacher for most of the last 10 years. I'd always thought I might run for school board after I retired. But the events of the last year have pushed up my time frame. I have 20 years experience in finance before I started teaching. I ran my own investment management company for 15 years, and I worked for a municipal bond desk and for a mutual fund company prior to that. I feel like the financial mess we have right now is a priority to get turned around. I feel like I have the experience to help with that. My experience in the classroom also within the district lets me know what has been working and what has not been working with the district. Finally, I would say that the professionalism on the board has been absent, and we've seen that definitely in the last couple of meetings. It's embarrassing, as a couple of other people have said. We all need to be working together to improve the district and help the children in Forsyth County. And the infighting has to stop. I have already started reaching out to some of the other candidates for school board, trying to build a relationship and let them know that I'm about improving the lives of the children here. And I'm hoping I can get those meetings done so we can all have a positive relationship going into this next board. Again, I'm Frank M. James. I'm running at large for the school board, and I would appreciate your vote.
Thank you very much, Frank. Gwendolyn. And you are on mute if you are currently talking. I'll try to find you too.
I don't see her in the chat.
No, either.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn. Okay, well, we will skip Gwendolyn. If she pops on, we'll pop her in. Rhonda Mays.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here because you could be cuddled up next to your TV at this time, but you're here with us. I am Rhonda Mays, and I am a candidate for Board of Education at large. I am a 26-year educator in North Carolina. I have served children and families and educators for majority of that time. I am an activist. I'm an organizer. I want to make certain that public education is as strong as it can be. And I want to make certain that it is fully funded. My priorities are making certain that the decisions that are being made, they are student-centered. How are our students being impacted? All of our students, not just students in a certain demographic, not just students in a certain zip code, but all of our children. And the next one would be transparent leadership. We need to make certain that we have open communication within the district, with our educators, our students, as well as with our community. This community loves our public education system here and has always worked hand in hand with our district. And we want to continue to strengthen that relationship. That was shown by the community stepping up to help to address this deficit. And also, I want to make certain that we are being responsible with the tax dollars that we are to be stewards of. I am Rhonda Mays, and I have served this district for over 26 years. I have been the president of Forsyth County Association of Educators. I believe in public education, and it is the foundation of our community. It is a great indicator of how our community will thrive or how it will fail. I need you. I need your vote. Don't be in a haze. Vote Mays. Thank you.
Time.
Thank you, Rhonda. Henry McCarthy? And Henry, you are on mute currently. Let's see if I can. Oh.
You
got it?
There we go.
Okay, here you go. I'm going to go quickly. Folks, I've enjoyed meeting all of you, my fellow candidates. I certainly have enjoyed meeting you along the way. I've really enjoyed getting out and talking with all of you. And so I look forward to serving. There's not a person that I've met that I couldn't serve with and cross the aisle. I'm Henry McCarthy. I'm going to read this quickly because if I don't, I'll start telling stories and be here all day. Working for you for school board at large, Dr. Henry McCarthy, former App State Assistant Dean, College of Education. 30 years there. I've been in all the school systems. I was over student teaching and field experiences. Order the Longleaf Pine, Jim Hunt gave me that one. Prison reform, OAR. School safety, that's one of my number one concerns. Getting back to the classroom since COVID, we've gotten away, I think, from the classroom. And so what happens in the classroom between the teacher and the student is something I'm very familiar with. The sound budget, my goodness gracious, if you can balance your own home budget, you could balance this budget. And I don't say that flippant. This is ridiculous, as you know, and I'm tired of talking about it, folks. So I think we have a new superintendent currently. I think Dr. Phipps will do a good job with that budget. And then the third thing is the teachers and the condition of teachers. I started in the coal fields of Southwest Virginia at $4,200 a month. And when I left Appalachian State, I was making $75,000 a year as assistant dean. So anyway, folks, I have the experience to do it. It's not a job that I really need. And I guarantee you, I served on the Boontown Council. And if you can do that, you can certainly cross the aisle and work with other people. And I also have a rescued Walker Greyhound. He's a Walker hunting dog. And I spent a lot of time up with him on the Creeper Trail. So I would be up there today, but I'm talking with you. So listen, God bless all of you. And I've also done a lot of international work.
Time.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Elizabeth Motzinger.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Elizabeth Motzinger. I'm running again for school board. As many of you know, I served from 2006 to 2022. When I won in 2006, I was the first Democrat at large who won in almost 20 years. I've served with 4 different school boards. I stopped in 2022 to take care of my husband, John, who sadly, as you know, died that year. What has happened in our school system over the last few years is really a comedy of errors with absolutely no comedy at all. It truly is a lot of people not knowing what they didn't know, and the constant churn between school board members, superintendents, CFOs, all these people who thought they knew what they were doing, who didn't actually know some really important pieces of information. I think the most critical thing right now is stabilizing the school system for people to actually feel comfortable, safe, able to be in schools. I think our students, our staff, our parents need to believe that our public schools are worthwhile, that they're good, that they are the best choice for children, that they are the best choice for teachers. And right now, people don't feel that way. My concern is very much that we will have another big churn again. And what I think is really important is to get people in these roles who will be stable, who will be open to learning, who will work well with others, who will be humble about the knowledge that they do or don't have, and be always open to learning more. I think the highest compliment I get in terms of service is wherever I go, when people who work inside of the schools see me, they say, I'm so glad to know you're running again. We
Time.
miss you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Richard Watts.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Richard Watts, running for school board at large. I am the only incumbent at large running, which makes me crazy perhaps, but I want to make sure that I am doing the mission that needs to be done. My campaign says make it better. Everywhere, every school I've served, when I left, I made it better. Unfortunately, after these 4 years of serving on the school board, I have not made it better. It is not better. So I want to continue the service to make it better. And many times you've addressed the decorum of the school board. If you look at during the meetings, I've tried to have decorum. I've tried to have calmness. I've tried to have peace. I've tried to reach across the aisle to make sure that we were decent and quote and in order. Because I believe we can do that. And when the public sees that we're not, then we are giving the public that we do not know what needs to be done in our school system. So I want to continue that. My campaign is accountability, which many of you have talked about today from all levels. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to make sure that we hire a superintendent that we can hold accountable. Because again, the number one job of the school board member is to hire the superintendent. If he or she is the right person, then we hold them accountable to make sure the policies and practices are carried out in our school system. Achievement. Most of you will notice that we've been at a long time gap. We've not closed the gap in 40 years. How do we move forward? We must reach out to other urban areas, other urban districts, see what the work they're doing so we can close this achievement gap and no longer make it a gap, but make it a solid foundation for all students. Attendance deals with the issues of having our young people come to school and not be afraid of being left or picked up. We have many of our schools right now are having serious attendance issues because their students are not coming because they are afraid that when they go to school, their mom, their dad, their grandmother may be, quote, picked up and they're not home when they return. So we've got to work across the aisles, make sure that our students feel safe in going to school and achieving excellence. And the last one is safe schools. Safe
Thank you
schools is
very
more
much,
than
Richard. Linda Winikoff.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Linda Winikoff, and I'm running for school board at large. I'm running because I believe I will bring a unique voice and an important perspective to school board policy making decisions. I am a lifelong educator. I've had experiences in university lab school settings, as well as with student teaching supervision. But my most important experience I bring to this position is my work here in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools. I've taught at high-performing schools of Sherwood Forest and Whitaker, and my longest tenure was at Old Town Elementary, which is known as a low-performing school. Those experiences showed me that those schools are filled with skilled, talented, hardworking teachers, but at the end of the year, the proficiency scores are different. That those experiences led me to the leadership I will now take if I am elected. I don't point fingers or blame people. I look for solutions. My quest for what makes a thriving school led me to Winston-Salem Freedom Schools, where I served as an executive director at one for 3 years to deter summer reading loss with underserved communities. And 2 weeks ago, I visited three community schools in Durham County schools to see what this model is that's being implemented throughout the state. Both approaches provide the structure and elements for what can make every school a thriving school. Along with my background and experience, I have three priorities to restore the trust in the school system that have to deal with strong fiscal policy and oversight, that have to do with having a rigorous evaluation for the superintendent, and also, of course, to have safe, responsive, and high achieving schools to make every school in our county a thriving school. We can do it. I know we can. I ask for your support. I'm Linda Winikoff, running for school board at large. Thank you.
Michelle, you're on mute. We're not able to hear you.
Well, can't you read my lips? So I am going to start with Linda. We've got a question for all the candidates, and I will only read the question once unless you specifically ask me to repeat it, which I am happy to do. Linda, what is the most significant issue facing our local public schools? What are your plans to solve this issue, and how will you balance parent, teacher, and community feedback?
I believe the most urgent issue facing our schools is the persistent and significant achievement gap. It is persistent because it has been here for decades, and it is significant because it runs in double digits. I believe we need to look at the root causes for that, such as having access for every 4-year-old to have a preschool experience. And then we need to look at what are the elements that make for a thriving school. The models are out there. We need to have the vision and the will to do it. And as far as bringing other stakeholders in, collaborative leadership.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you
very much. Next, Richard.
First, if I had a magic wand, I would make sure we would get paid on the degrees that we have earned. But since there is no magic wand, I will start locally with that we must make sure that our schools, our staff have free planning time, extra pay for extra duties, competitive compensation with local supplement, as well as to find ways to take things off our plates of our teachers and staff so they can really focus on teaching and meeting the needs of our students.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Elizabeth?
I think the biggest issue facing our district right now is just trust, is rebuilding trust both inside of the district and outside of the district in the community, and believing that their first and best choice for schooling should be public schools. First, of course, comes students, and their needs always have to be the top priority. Second has to be our staff, our teachers, all of the educators, and people need to be paid appropriately for their work, but they also need to be respected and treated as professionals.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Henry? You're on mute, Henry. So we'll restart your timer too.
Yes.
That's a joke. Henry, you're still on mute. Let me see if.
Okay,
there we go.
Okay, first I would say reading, because we know that that's the foundation of education. So we have to have good reading, and that starts, you have to do that by the 3rd grade. The second, at the high school level, I'm really interested in working with young adult males. We know they're 12 times as likely to go to prison as females. We know that 2 females to 1 are now graduating from college. So also on the school board, we have to get along. We need to stop attacking the personal attacks, and we need to treat each other as adults. And remember, all we need to know is what we learned in kindergarten.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Rhonda, you're up.
Yes, I laughed when Elizabeth said hers because I wrote down trust and safety. Before we can do anything, that trust within the district, as well as with our families and with our stakeholders in our community, must be restored. And then we can begin to build from there. Because if trust is gone, we can't do anything else. So I'm going to stop because I'll go on and go over time. Thank you.
Hey, I'm impressed. You crushed that 30 seconds. Gwendolyn, are you here by chance? Hearing nothing. Frank, you're up.
Hi, I'm with Linda on this one. A few years ago, a third of my kids in 7th grade were at a kindergarten level for math and ELA. And we are just not properly educating a large segment of our students. And we need to have higher expectations for performance. I know they can do it because I've done it with them. We need to make things better.
Yeah, thank you very much. Donald? Oh, Donald, you're on mute.
And that's the end of it. No. My goal would be to foster better communication with all stakeholders, parents, politicians, as well as the students, and also bring a board norm to the board that provide them with leadership, and everybody can walk away with trust and understanding on the direction we're moving.
Excellent. Vondell?
Miss Michelle, if you don't mind, could you read the question again? Because it was a three-part question, and I've only heard people respond to one.
Listen, I'm a visual person. I don't know how anyone's doing this. What is the most significant issue facing our local public schools? What are your plans to solve this issue? And how will you balance parent, teacher, and community feedback?
Okay, yes, ma'am. I got to say it quick because we only got a little bit of time. So the most significant issue, in my opinion, is more than one, but the primary is the safety. If we don't have the proper measures in place, people are not feeling comfortable. And when I say people, I'm referring to our students and our educators of coming to school. So we have to get that in place. And then second, I'm just adding the budget, and a few other people said that, and trust, which is important too. How I would address it, one, I'm going back to the basics. We're in a place now with the county where our families don't trust us. They don't understand. We're giving them all these words about trust, safety.
Linda, I'd love to hear more about what you have to say later. I'm sure. Please drop your website or any other information in the chat. Valerie, you're up.
So I will agree with most what everybody said. But one thing that we need to understand is that our school system cannot perform miracles. What happened between 0 and 5 years old is crucial for the development of children. And investing in early childhood education in pre-K is the way to really bring the change that we need. Teacher, cannot perform miracle when kids are so behind when they arrive in their classroom. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Time.
Okay, we are going to move on to Forsyth County Board of Education District 2. All Clemmons precincts are in District 2, and we'll have the opportunity to vote for 4 candidates. We will start off with our 2-minute introductions, and I'll ask Lee Childress to start that.
All right. Can you guys hear me all right?
Sure can.
All right. I'm in the basement because my 3 children are upstairs waiting on the snow. So I came in the basement so you could hear me. My name is Lee Childress, and I am a 19-year EC or special education teacher here in the district. I am a 14-year athletic director, and I am a 10-year executive board member of the Forsyth County Association of Educators, which is our public school union. The last 6 months is what got me here. I did not plan to run for school board. I was very happy to be an advocate, but it's been rough, y'all. It's been so rough. Our morale is low. Our kids have lost valuable role models, and we have got to start rebuilding trust. We have got to start rebuilding trust in our district. My quick priorities are student and staff centered first and foremost. Every decision should be that. I am an EC advocate or a special education advocate. We have been decimated in EC. That has to change. We need to make sure that we're good public stewards of the dollar. We need to make sure that we are transparent and open about any communication that's coming out. A seat at the table. Our everyday workers at our schools need to have a voice. We need to establish a policy so that they can feel like they're invested. You know, our morale is so low. That would help that so much. Finally, we have to be strong defenders and advocate for more in public funding. We are 50th out of 50 states. We have got to improve that. We have got to go to our county, and then we have got to go to our state to start improving and making sure that we are advocating for what we need. I'm Lee Childress. I'm running for Board of Ed, District 2. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank
you, Lee. Oh my God, I lost my name, my list of candidates. How did I do that?
Susan Conway.
Thank you. Susan here? Okay. Oh, there we are. Hi,
Sorry,
Susan.
trying to unmute myself. Hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak to our voters. My name is Susan Conway. I'm running in District 2 for school board. I'm what some might call a professional volunteer. Since my oldest child entered the school system in 2014, I've been heavily involved in the PTA. I've served 4 terms as president, currently holding that position at Mount Tabor High School. I've spent thousands of hours in multiple schools working alongside teachers and admin to strengthen relationships with families. One of the more rewarding volunteer experiences came as a reading tutor through Read WS. Now love literacy. Helping a struggling reader will change how you view everything. This experience drove my passion for early literacy. My volunteerism extended to my neighborhood HOA, where I was a director for 15 years. I was a member of the Finance and Planning Committee, where we developed an annual and long-term budget. I think bringing board experience will be valuable to the school board, knowing how to work cooperatively and what a well-functioning board looks like. And now for the elephant in the room, finances. I will push for transparent, responsible budgeting that protects children and classrooms first. I will look for creative ways to partner with community organizations to increase resources and lean on legislatures to advocate for public education. I'll fight for early literacy and targeted student support, and I'll ask hard questions, listen carefully, and make decisions rooted in data, not politics. I'm hoping to flip one of those Republican seats in District 2. I'm proud to be running with the Democratic team of Fentress, Fulmer, and Childress. And I'd like your vote in May or March. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Adam Corey.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, very good. Hello, hope everybody's staying warm and prepared for whatever is about to happen. I was looking forward to doing this in person, but safety is important. And it's been a really impressive group of candidates so far today. I'm Adam Corey. I'm one of the many people running for school board in District 2. About me, I grew up here in West Forsyth County Schools, graduated from West in 2001, went on to UNC where I ended up with a Master's of Arts in Teaching, where I came back here to teach science in these classrooms as well. Spent several years at East Forsyth and at Reagan. That's where I also coached football, and I was a wrestling coach during that time as well. Now I'm a clinical pharmacist at one of our hospitals and raising my 4 kids in these same schools. Well, 2 of them aren't there yet. 2 of them are coming soon. But I am running for this board because I believe in public schools. It gave me the chance to do what I do now. And strong public schools need great teachers empowered to do their jobs as professionals, real code of conduct that keeps kids safe and able to learn in a safe environment, along with plenty of opportunities to inspire kids to find out what they're passionate about. Our local community and businesses depend on our school system to produce informed citizens, hard workers, and customers. My focus is simple. Let's put the focus out of the boardroom and back in the classroom. Let's protect our most vulnerable students, use evidence-based decision-making, bring steady, transparent leadership back to the school board. And that is my goal for running for this seat. And I'm grateful for the chance to be here and look forward to further conversations over the next few weeks.
Thank you very much, Adam. Curtis?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you to the Clemmons Democrats for hosting this forum. My name is Curtis Fentress, and I'm running for the Winston-Forsyth County Board of Education in District 2 to bring a fresh generation of leadership to our school system. I was raised in Winston-Salem, the son of a Forsyth Tech administrator and the grandson of a second grade teacher. I went to elementary, middle, and high school in our district, graduating in 2003 from Mount Tabor High School. After graduating from Haverford College, a liberal arts college in Pennsylvania with Quaker origins, I spent a year working in presidential politics as an organizer during the 2008 New Hampshire presidential primary, where we were successful in moving the Democratic Party platform to the left on issues like economic justice and healthcare for all. In 2012, I graduated from UNC Keenan Flagler Business School in Chapel Hill with an MBA in entrepreneurship. And since 2012, I've been employed by Ecolab Incorporated, a Fortune 500 global sustainability leader, which is the world leader in hygiene and infection prevention solutions and services, where I presently hold general management and financial responsibility for a $1 billion division headquartered in Greensboro, North Carolina. In 2024, I'm proud to say I was one of 3 Democratic candidates running for Forsyth County Board of Commissioners in District B, where we came within 2% of flipping that seat, which has never been held by a Democrat. Look forward to Marzi or Adam winning that seat. In the community, I'm a volunteer with North Carolina Youth Fusion Soccer, a business mentor with Winston Starts, and a member of St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Mostly, I'm a husband, father of 3 young children who I'm proud to send to the same public school system that I attended. With a new generation of leadership ready to exercise the oversight and management functions we have been lacking on the board, we will build back the confidence of teachers, of families, and of the community. And lastly, I'm running together with Lee Childress, Susan Conway, and Steve Fulmer. We're pleased to be running as a Democratic team to represent us in the general election on the board, and we thank you for your support.
Thank you very much, Curtis. Moving on to Steve Fulmer. Or Fulmer.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. I'm Steve Fulmer, and I'm currently finishing 34 years of teaching as an associate professor at Wake Forest University. In July, I will officially be retired, and rather than putting up a gone fishing sign, I find myself compelled to apply my nearly 50 years of professional expertise in teaching, research, and community service to the school board here. This effort also harkens back to my own experience and my commitment to public school education. I was raised in a public school system in Ohio, and the rest of my family have all been products of public schools. What I think I'll bring to the board is a big picture approach based on collaboration. And thank you to Curtis and Suzanne and to Lee for collaborating with me on our joint campaigns, because I think this is a reflection of the way that I like to collaborate. This kind of collaboration understands how the pieces of organizations, especially school systems, work together to enhance our students' education, their safety and well-being, while it also honors and supports their families as well as teachers and staff. It will also honor the specific focus of other board members based on their own expertise, while also recognizing the value of flexibility rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. I'll foster a collaborative approach within the school board so that it can function better and restore trust. I'll favor advocacy for better financing with the state and with the county, collaborative relationships with families and community organizations, all that will strengthen our schools and our community. I'll focus on listening and transparency and accountability. My work ethic was forged in a steel mill in Ohio back when I was young, and has been enhanced by my. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Marie Jackson.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Marie Jackson, and I'm running for school board in District 2.
because I believe our schools deserve leadership that is both deeply accountable and deeply invested in results. I decided to step forward as a school board candidate after the imbalanced budget was revealed last year. Community trust has been severely broken. Teachers and students are suffering, and responsible oversight is severely needed. Professionally, I'm a project manager with a background in data analysis, process development, and product development. What that means in real terms is that I spend my career managing complex systems, tracking outcomes, and making sure people, time, and money are used responsibly. And that's exactly the mindset I believe our school board needs in this moment. Personally, I live with my husband and 2 daughters who attend public schools, so I have skin in the game. Every decision the board makes affects my family directly. As a school board member, my priorities will be responsible stewardship of taxpayer dollars, number one, first and foremost, because that is what funds everything else that we need. Number two, transparent collaboration with the district and community to rebuild trust, which is severely harmed in the past year. Number three, safe and supportive learning environments where students and staff can thrive. And number four, results through data and continued governance. I am committed to listening to families, supporting teachers and staff, and working collaboratively with other board members, the district, the Board of Commissioners, and any other civic bodies, and most importantly, the community, to move our schools forward. And I would be honored to earn your support for the school board District 2. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stephanie?
Hello, all. Happy to be here. I'm going to jump right in. My name is Stephanie Millot. I'm running for District 2. I've spent 12 years working in education abroad, both in South Korea and in Croatia, where I owned and operated a language school. That experience gave me a deep understanding of education from multiple perspectives. So classroom instruction, leadership, staffing, and especially relevant for our district, budgeting. I'm also a parent in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools District. My son is a twice exceptional student. I see a fellow Spees B here, so I'm very happy to see that. We love this community. We only moved here about 2.5 years ago, so we are invested in making it a place for our long-term family life. It's given me a deep appreciation for how nuanced and individualized support can be within our schools, especially reflecting in a twice exceptional kiddo. I stay closely connected at the school level. I'm a very, very active volunteer. I substitute taught last year. I spend a lot of time listening to teachers, staff, and family. And that proximity matters to me because policies, whether they're academic, financial, or behavioral, only work when they reflect what's happening in the classroom and in the hallways. I'm running because I believe this district needs cooperation, collaboration, and calm, steady leadership moving forward. That includes how we approach things like the code of conduct. I don't see it as a static document, but as a living one that needs to move and change with the times. It's also one that I think we definitely need more community input on, and that is something I will actively advocate for. I bring practical budgeting experience from running a school and from how my family approaches our own finances with an emphasis on responsible planning and thoughtful stewardship of public dollars. My goal is to listen, to learn, and to work across differences to make choices that have the greatest positive impact for the most students, staff, and families. I also want to say how encouraged I am to see multiple EC teachers and advocates in this. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Stephanie, and welcome to Winston-Salem. Emma Norton, you're up.
Ooh, wow. I am coming off of mute and
Oh,
video.
good. Perfect.
Hi, thank you for having me. Once again, I think I'm the last one out of the 37 wonderful candidates you have for Board of Education for 9 seats. I do not have kids and I do not teach, so you may be wondering why I am here in the race. And that's because in the last election, we only had one Dem running at all in the District 2 board all the way to November. And I just don't think that was a great option for the voters. And so I decided to throw my hat in the ring. But obviously 7 other people did too. So all of us seem like a pretty great group of people with great ideas coming forward. And I'd be happy to work with any of the fellow Democrats on the board versus what we can see currently happening now with our board. My main progress is I'm trying to come out against all these people that are trying to come into the schools with these made up culture wars about banning books and all this stuff, when the real problem is that the kids can't read at a grade level. And they may not be my children, but I do care about them because they will be part of the community that I am a part of. And I also think this district has left behind the trust of the teachers, and the teachers are fleeing not only this district, but this state, because they don't have the funding from the General Assembly to get a budget passed, to get to sustain them at a point that they need. So we definitely need to fight for the public education that we need in this country, that we have lost from kind of the top down trying to dismantle the Department of Education. And that's not fair to anyone. I graduated from public schools and I know that they can be great. And I think we need to come back to the way they were. I think a lot of people have talked about Jim Hunt, and I just looked up, he was the governor when I was in school. So that tracks that I had a great time in school. And I know that public school can be great. And I know we have teachers that care, and we need to rebuild and come back to that. So thank you for your vote in March.
Yeah.
Emma, thanks so much for throwing your hat in the ring. I think it's lovely that you actually are somebody fully outside of the system. I have the same question for y'all, and Emma, we'll start with you. And again, I'll read this question off for Emma, but anybody who would like me to reiterate it later on, I'm happy to. What is the most significant issue facing our local public schools? What are your plans to solve this issue? And how will you balance parent, teacher, and community feedback?
I think definitely, I think we would all love some precedented times kind of across the board, and we are kind of in a lot of upheaval right now. The budget is kind of making the headlines right now, and we need to work with that. I'm happy to work with the board, kind of going over what we've done, but we definitely need to come back from that reduction in force of the EC teachers and get EC programs back into this, program facilitators back into the schools, so that we do not fail those students for the rest of their time at Forsyth schools. And I'm happy to work with the board and definitely have a more collaborative board and not so much a personal gain board, right?
Thank you, Emma, very much. Stephanie?
30 seconds is quick. Okay. Right now, I think one of the most significant challenges we're having is retaining educators and staff. After the RIF, I mean, it's understandable, right? There's a lot of mistrust and fear that jobs won't be there. So to address that, I would focus on stabilizing, rebuilding, and sustainability. So sustainable in ways that reward longer term teachers, whether that be on a pay scale or whatever it is, to maintain quality educators in our schools across all subjects and grade levels.
All right, time.
Thank you very much. Well put. Marie?
So my priorities that I think that need to be focused on as soon as possible are budget and safety. I think we need a deep dive of the budget. You know, the current board does have a chance between now and November 3rd to, balance the budget, make a plan. But I think the new board needs to have a deep dive. They need to look at it. They need to have controls in place, reoccurring, insights. We could use a lot of tools that I have personally used in the C-suite of project management to monitor and be smart about how we monitor. Second is safety.
Thank you very much, Marie. Steve?
Thank you. I think that the problems that other people are addressing are also indicative of the problem that we see education from a smaller perspective and more or less as a silo. So I believe that we could address a lot of these problems by adopting a collaborative approach. In the example of safety, for example, we can collaborate with the DA's office, with the public defender's office, with the judicial system and other organizations to try to address the safety in our schools.
Thank you very much, Steve. Curtis?
I agree with Ms. Motzinger that the number one issue facing the school system is trust. If you're a legislator with the North Carolina state legislature and you do not trust Winston-Salem County Schools, you are not going to increase funding to Winston-Salem County Schools. If you are a parent in the district and you do not trust the schools, you will find a way to send your child to private school. And that diminishes the ability of us to support all of our kids that are in public schools. We have to build back trust. We have to replace the Republicans who are in these seats now representing us in District 2.
Thank you very much, Curtis. Adam?
Hi, yes. So I think, like a lot of people said, I think the low morale and lack of trust in the community, in the current board and school system, is our biggest problem facing it. We need to, again, return the focus to the classroom, celebrate the accomplishments of our teachers and students. I think we need to listen, learn, and act on the ideas from the teachers and families in the community. We shouldn't ask them what they want and then do the exact opposite on the first try, and then have to go back and refix it. I think that's indicative of the lack of morale that we've had. We're creating.
Thank you very much, Adam. Susan?
Hi, as I mentioned early, literacy is my passion. I think our reading rates have not improved in decades. We need to look at some creative ways to approach early literacy. Mississippi has had some success in moving their reading rates up in the past decade. I'd like to look at bringing experts, teachers, admin, community members into some advisory boards and looking at ways that we can increase the reading rate.
Time.
Early grade level.
Thank you so much, Susan. And Lee.
Hi. So I think trust, I know it's been said, but it is certainly important. We don't have that right now among our staff, among our community, among our families. That has to be rebuilt back. We also have to really invest in our staff. They are struggling. I am there. I see it. If we are able to, work to build for our staff, then we will start to see results. We have to heal our district. Our district is so far gone right now. There is so much mistrust among our employees. That's the first thing. And then we can look at safety. We can look at all these other things that are certainly important.
Thank you so much, Lee.
Thank you.
Excellent job. I am going to share my screen so y'all can see some important information. And of course, thank you all for attending. And I don't use Zoom a lot. I use other things, so please forgive me. Okay, are you all seeing my screen? Okay. Yes, okay. I'm trying to put this in presentation mode, but there we go. That's not the fun one. Here's the fun one. Okay, early voting begins on February 12th. First and foremost, thank you everybody for coming. Second, thank you everybody for coming with snow apocalypse, ice apocalypse, the end of the world, who knows. And thank you to all of our candidates for being so thoughtful and taking the time out of their day to present to us as well. So early voting begins on February 12th. Please keep in mind that early voting is extremely important for all of our candidates. It allows them to save money on the folks that they already know they have the vote of by not targeting them with unnecessary advertising and promotions. So please, please, please vote early to save our party some cash. And then, as mentioned, this presentation is in your chat, as well as will be emailed to everybody who registered and is obviously available for you to share to others. And in fact, I would encourage you to do so, letting people know where they can vote early, why it's important to vote early, and the locations and schedules where they can vote early. So please share those links. Remind your unaffiliated voter friends that they can pick their poison, Democrat or Republican primary ballot. And we've got a lot of great Democrats for them to choose from. So maybe some of your Republican and or maybe some of your unaffiliated friends might be interested in learning more. Mail-in ballots can be requested. They are a massive pain in the butt. They do require a notary, and they changed how it requires with postage. It was really weird. Go ahead.
It doesn't have to have a notary. It could have, but two signatures or a notary.
Could the other signature not be your spouse or something?
It's two witnesses or a notary.
Oh, okay. So I guess I went with notary because I was like, this is crazy. Anyways, it was a pain in the ass. So I don't know. I would just vote early somewhere. Obviously they're trying to make it harder and harder. So mail in, and also don't forget, well, and Linda, you can answer this. My understanding is now it doesn't just have to do with the day that the post office receives it. It has to do with
It
the
has
day
to be
that,
received by the Board of Elections by
yeah.
7:30 at night on election day. And that's at the Forsyth County Board of Elections, not your polling place. It has to be in their hands. So postmark doesn't matter.
Yep. Which is scary. I'm not sure if you guys have had weird experiences with your mail here, but I have for the 12 years I've lived here. So just be cognizant. Mail it in a few weeks, many weeks early, if that's your choice. Let me think what else. Election Day, March 3rd. And you must vote on only your registered precinct location on Election Day. And you can always check your voter registration here. And like I said, we will get that presentation out to you. And Henry, I see you have your hand up. By all means, please feel free to speak.
I have one thing I would like to say.
Yeah.
So anyone who's on here who wants to get involved with Clemmons Democrats, you can drop your name, email, phone number in the chat, and we would love to have you join us. The 7 precincts in Clemmons have been working together since 2017. We do a lot of things, and our next event that we have is on February 21st, and it's the annual organizational meetings, and we'll have other speakers at that meeting that are not in the primary. So we would love for you to join us for that.
All right. Y'all did great. Everybody stay safe. Do all your laundry now.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.